The condition Meghan faced remains unnamed in public statements, but medical experts have speculated that it could have been a form of postpartum thyroiditis, a rare inflammation of the thyroid that can cause extreme fatigue, anxiety, and mood swings. This condition often begins with a period of hyperthyroidism, where the thyroid is overactive, followed by hypothyroidism, where the thyroid becomes underactive, both of which can have significant impacts on a new mother's emotional and physical health. These shifts in hormone levels can lead to symptoms that are easily dismissed or misattributed to typical postpartum adjustment. In Meghan's case, the toll it took was deeply destabilizing. She spoke candidly of waking up in the middle of the night with racing thoughts and an overwhelming sense of panic, her heart pounding without warning, her body aching in unfamiliar ways. Her experiences echoed what thousands of women endure silently, intense bouts of fear, confusion, and physical discomfort that seem to defy explanation. Others have suggested that Meghan may have been dealing with a hormonal imbalance or an autoimmune issue that was either triggered or exacerbated by childbirth. Hormonal changes after pregnancy are profound, and in some cases they can trigger previously dormant conditions or give rise to new ones, particularly in women with underlying vulnerabilities. Meghan's emotional candor has allowed us to understand how such physical afflictions do not exist in isolation. They bleed into every part of a woman's identity, from how she sees herself as a mother to how she engages with the world around her. The creeping fear she described, the sensation of losing herself, points to a larger emotional fracture, a disconnection between the body and the mind that so often accompanies postpartum disorders. Her story paints a hauntingly familiar picture. For countless women, the sensation of slipping away, of watching your former self recede while you are left navigating unfamiliar territory in a body that no longer feels like your own. Meghan's openness about these symptoms breaks through the socially constructed silence surrounding maternal mental health. Too often, women are expected to brush aside their physical ailments or dismiss their emotional distress as part and parcel of new motherhood. The normalization of suffering has created an environment in which serious medical conditions go undiagnosed and untreated. Meghan, with all the resources and attention that come with her position, still struggled to be heard, still battled feelings of isolation and fear. This underscores a devastating truth. Postpartum health issues are routinely minimized, and even those in privileged circumstances can find themselves fighting alone for understanding and support. Her voice, now amplified by her platform, is drawing attention to the need for comprehensive maternal care that addresses not just the physical healing after childbirth, but the emotional and psychological recovery that is just as vital and often more elusive. Adding to the complexity of her experience was the relentless media coverage and public scrutiny that Meghan endured, which only intensified after she became a mother. At a time when most women hope for privacy, support, and understanding, Meghan found herself under a microscope. Tabloid headlines dissected her every move, from how she held her baby to what she wore, from her interactions with royal family members to the perceived expressions on her face. This constant intrusion did more than just invade her personal space. It chipped away at her emotional stability. It's one thing to navigate the exhausting demands of new motherhood. It's another entirely to do so while being picked apart by the press and criticized on a global scale. The very people who should have protected her image or at least extended grace during her postpartum recovery often did the opposite. The dual burden of physical illness and emotional stress became suffocating, and she admitted in a heartbreaking interview that there were moments when she didn't know if she could continue. Those words, quietly spoken, echoed loudly around the world and revealed the depth of her suffering. While the world saw a duchess, a celebrity, a public figure, Meghan was experiencing something far more private and painful, a profound loneliness that haunted her during her most vulnerable moments. Living in a palace might suggest grandeur and security, but that didn't translate into emotional connection or understanding. Despite the opulence of her surroundings, she felt increasingly detached from the very people and institutions that were supposed to care. Even her marriage to Prince Harry, though loving and supportive, could not shield her entirely from the emptiness she felt. When she confessed that, "Not many people have asked if I'm okay," it revealed a devastating truth, that emotional validation and genuine concern were noticeably absent from her immediate environment. That moment of honesty pierced through the image of royal perfection, and reminded the world that wealth and fame do not protect against emotional neglect or mental health struggles. For many women who have felt unseen and unheard during their own postpartum journeys, Meghan's vulnerability became a powerful symbol of solidarity. Eventually, Meghan made the courageous decision to seek professional help, a step many knew mothers struggle with due to stigma, fear, or lack of resources. For her, it was a turning point. Supported by Prince Harry and guided by a growing awareness of her physical and emotional needs, she began to carve a path toward healing. One of the most transformative steps came when she and Harry made the decision to step back from their royal roles and relocate to the United States. This move, controversial to some, was in fact a lifeline. It gave Meghan the space to recalibrate her life, to rediscover her identity beyond the constraints of the monarchy, and to focus on her health and her growing family. In California, far from the royal spotlight, she found a sanctuary where she could begin to recover and reflect. It was in this quieter, more nurturing environment that she began to channel her experience into purpose, using her story as a foundation for advocacy. Meghan's passion for maternal health became a defining part of her post-royal identity. Through the Archewell Foundation, which she co-founded with Harry, she has championed a wide range of initiatives focused on reproductive justice, equitable healthcare access, and the destigmatization of mental health struggles, particularly those affecting new mothers. She has spoken out about the urgent need for paid parental leave, recognizing that countless women must return to work before they have physically or emotionally healed. She has highlighted disparities in maternal care, especially among marginalized communities where access to quality healthcare is often limited. Through partnerships with organizations and health experts, Meghan has helped fund research and awareness campaigns that aim to shed light on the often overlooked realities of postpartum life. Her advocacy has not been performative. It is rooted in lived experience and a genuine desire to make change. The response to Meghan's openness has been profound. Women from around the world have written letters, posted on social media, and spoken out in solidarity, many for the first time. They have thanked her for her courage, for saying aloud what they were never able to voice. Mental health professionals have applauded her for normalizing conversations that are still considered taboo in many communities. She has given voice to those who have felt dismissed or invalidated, especially in the context of maternal health. While her detractors have continued to speculate and criticize, the louder response has been one of gratitude and respect. Meghan's willingness to speak about her postpartum struggle has helped carve out a space for honesty in a cultural landscape that often values silence over truth. In naming her pain, she has helped others find the words for theirs, turning her personal ordeal into a broader movement for recognition and change. Meghan's story is also a powerful reminder that maternal health challenges are universally human. They do not discriminate based on wealth, fame, or title. Whether a woman gives birth in a royal suite or a modest hospital room, the physiological and emotional upheaval that follows can be just as overwhelming. Meghan Markle, a duchess with global name recognition, faced a postpartum health crisis that echoed the experiences of countless women around the world. What makes her journey so poignant is not that she suffered despite her privilege, but that her privilege could not shield her from the very same gaps in care, compassion, and awareness that impact so many others. Her experience exposed the often invisible cracks in healthcare systems, and it underscored the myth that having access to resources automatically equates to having support. Meghan, like so many new mothers, found herself navigating a system that was ill-prepared to see her pain or respond to it adequately. Fame may provide a platform, but it does not offer immunity from human vulnerability. Meghan's candidness stripped away the illusions that often accompany celebrity motherhood. She showed the world that even a woman married to a prince can feel frightened, alone, and unsure in the wake of childbirth. The pressures she faced were intensified by her public profile, but at their core, they were deeply familiar. The fear of not being enough, the exhaustion that refuses to subside, the sensation of being a stranger in your own body. These are not isolated feelings. They are shared experiences that resonate across cultures, income levels, and family structures. By speaking out, Meghan reclaimed a narrative that had been distorted by gossip and speculation. More importantly, she added her voice to a rising chorus of women demanding better care, better recognition, and better treatment during one of the most vulnerable times in a woman's life. Now, as Meghan builds a life outside the confines of royal tradition, her identity as an advocate is taking center stage. She has evolved from being a modern royal icon to becoming a symbol of human dignity, maternal resilience, and health equity. Her advocacy is not performative. It is rooted in lived experience and driven by a genuine desire to create change. She has shown that strength is not the absence of pain, but the willingness to confront it, name it, and transform it into something that benefits others. In that sense, Meghan's vulnerability has become her greatest source of influence. She is redefining leadership by embracing authenticity and showing that true empowerment begins with empathy and honesty. For many mothers, the postpartum period is a paradox, overflowing with love for a newborn, yet accompanied by an identity shift so profound that it can feel like loss. The joy of new life exists alongside exhaustion, anxiety, and emotional fragility. Meghan's journey through this deeply personal landscape reflects a reality that is rarely captured in public discourse. Her story is not sanitized or idealized, it is raw and real, and that is why it resonates so powerfully. By sharing her truth, she has given visibility to what is often hidden, and in doing so, she has validated the experiences of countless women who have felt similarly overwhelmed but unable to speak. Ultimately, Meghan's experience goes beyond her personal biography. It serves as a wake-up call. It challenges institutions, governments, families, and communities to take maternal health seriously, not as a private issue, but as a public responsibility. It encourages healthcare providers to ask the right questions, to listen without judgment, and to treat maternal care as comprehensive and continuous. It urges society to discard outdated ideals that demand self-sacrifice from mothers at the cost of their own health. And it invites every one of us to show up differently, for our partners, sisters, friends, and neighbors who are walking through the transformative and often tumultuous journey of motherhood. What Meghan endured was indeed rare and scary, but in sharing her experience, she has helped make what is often considered taboo feel talkable. She has illuminated a truth that transcends fame. Healing begins when the silence ends. Her voice, once muffled by palace protocols and tabloid noise, now rings out as a beacon for women everywhere who are struggling in the shadows. And in that voice, we no longer hear just the echoes of royalty. We hear the strength of a woman who chose to speak when it would have been easier to stay quiet. We hear a mother reclaiming her body, her story, and her power. Meghan Markle may have once been a duchess confined by royal expectations, but today, she stands as a powerful force for maternal advocacy, a voice for change, and a reminder that every woman's pain deserves to be seen, heard, and honored.